So I am, similarly to the two previous PhD students, going to give you a flyby presentation and speak to you about my PhD project, the Kids Trial. And today I'm really just going to talk to you about challenges in communicating about trials with particularly 7 to 12-year-old children, which is who is involved in my trial, and some solutions that I'm thinking about how we might meet those challenges. So I think probably everyone who's in the webinar today knows what randomized trials are and why they exist. And I think most of us would also agree that they become more applicable and more valuable when we involve patients, participants, and the public in general. But when we talk about education and communicating trials, we sometimes don't talk about children. And there's a couple things there. First of all, it's a basic human right that when children are involved in research and/or any research influences their life, they should have input. And second, children are experts in what interests them and what they want to know and what matters to them. So it's really important that we teach them about trials for themselves as children and, growing into adults and joining the general public, I suppose. So the kids trial is a trial that will be completely dependent on children. They're going to co-create it with me. So they're going to be the trialists, the designers, the participants, and they're going to help us decide how we disseminate our information. We're doing this to teach them what randomized trials are, why they matter, and hopefully help them think more critically about health claims that they might encounter in their day-to-day lives. So I'm in the process of my ethical application and writing all of my transcripts for my website because this is going to be done completely online. I'm writing my participant information leaflets, and their first challenge is language. If you think for a moment, and I don't have time to ask you to give me answers, but how would you explain what research is to a 7-year-old? So I've had to take all that jargon that we were talking about earlier with Eleanor and Katie and translate it into language that a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old can understand. So just a simple example of what we came up with here for what research is. And we have pages of this where I'm really having to think. It's a great exercise for me. The second challenge is inclusivity. So this is a lot of front-end work for our trial. We're putting together an International Children's Research Advisory Group, a CRAG, and they're going to be advising me from the start before the trial and all the way through the trial on what they think and what they like. Our website will have hopefully language that doesn't exclude people, that includes people, closed captions, animations, multimedia. We'd like to have children doing our voiceovers, so some in-house PPI from my 5-year-old. So we're going to be doing a lot of things like that, that really includes children in this process and hopefully also engages them. So engagement in trials with children can be a challenge. Well, with anyone really, but especially children. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. Having our CRAG really give us input here on what keeps children engaged. We would like to embed a simple game into our website. Children will be deciding our logo. The CRAG will be designing it with me and deciding color schemes. And so we know that color works. We know that animation works. We know that the longer tasks or instructions doesn't really work. And so our hope here is that through our engagement and really depending on what children tell us they want, we can teach them how to fish and not just give them a fish. So my take-home messages here are really keep it simple, meet children where they are, use multimedia, talk to children's advocacy groups because they know what children aren't being talked to include people that might not otherwise have access to research projects. Color, interactivity, and keep it short.